In a few hours from now, Vinesh Phogat would have had the chance to make herself India's greatest ever wrestler, both on and off the mat. The road that's taken her this far, though, has probably been the toughest any compatriot has taken to Paris Olympics. But ultimately, it's all ended in a massive heartbreak.
India's ace grappler Vinesh Phogat stood on the cusp of ultimate glory in the Paris Olympic Games 2024 but has now been disqualified from the competition entirely. Vinesh, who was competing in the 50 kgs freestyle wrestling category, is out of the competition having been weighed over the limit for her event. Vinesh usually competes in the 53 kg category but brought her weight down to 50 kgs for the Paris Olympics. On day 2 of her weigh-ins, however, Vinesh was found weighing over the desired limit through a small margin of about 100 grams.
And Vinesh reportedly tried to do all she could to come under the desired weight. Be it skipping meals or running or cycling, she did not sleep the entire night, hoping to fall under the weight category. The Indian officials also asked the Olympic Committee for more time, but the efforts went in vain. Sanjay, how do you feel about this? Because I, for one, am heartbroken. And could you also tell me a little more about her journey so far? It's been a hell of a ride. Please elaborate.
Well, hearing this news is definitely heartbreaking, especially since we were so happy about India getting this medal, either a silver or a gold. Although, with her performance, it seemed like she would have won the gold if the match had happened. So the first thing today morning when we heard this was certainly depressing, especially after India had already lost in the semi-finals, the hockey semi-finals, hockey men's semi-finals yesterday evening. About her journey, it has not been so simple because she had to go through a lot before she even got to the Olympic platform. According the date, August 13th last year, Vinesh injured the ACL on her left knee, and let me remind you that is a very serious injury for any sports person. And she injured her in last August. It was a very serious injury on her left knee, and she underwent surgery for it 4 days later. She was in a position where she couldn't even walk properly. She had to start from the beginning. She had to start walking. She had to start to learn walking and then start her basic training once again. And then after that, she had to go through the rigorous training to prepare herself for the Olympics. So that is the journey that she had to go through.
And that was just the physical battle. I want to speak about the personal battle that she faced and that we all saw, on our social media, on live television. It was playing all day long. She had already spent first half of her 2023 fighting against the then head of the Wrestling Federation of India, Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, whom she and others had accused of sexual assault. She had slept on the pavement, faced extreme, levels of online trolling, and been repeatedly let down by those holding various offices of power in government and outside. But she had soldiered on, fueled by the desire for a berth at the Paris Olympics and a chance to win that elusive medal. And as important, fueled by a sense of grave injustice. The pictures, they'd become viral. Her facing police batons, her on the ground being pushed by so many police officials, and to see that she's come this far and at such a stage she was disqualified, that just comes as a shock.
It is more heartbreaking because of the way she is exiting the Olympics. If she had lost in the finals, there would still be glory to her name because she went down fighting. This whole matter turning into a disqualification for a matter of 100 grams is, if we as her supporters are feeling this bad, we can't even imagine what she must be going through after trying so hard all night. According to reports, she tried really hard and is now hospitalized as well because of how much she tried to cut down that extra weight. While we are on this topic, we have with us sports correspondent Vedam Jaishankar. So let's get on a call, connect with him and ask what his opinion is. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you very much. Yes, it's been a very, very, very disappointing morning and very disheartening because, in fact, you mentioned 100 grams. It was not even 100 grams. It was about 90 grams. That's what she was overweight. But but when you say that rules are rules, I wonder what the rules are allowing a male boxer to come as a female and box in that event. Is that the bigger crime, or 90 grams is a bigger crime? or the bigger transgression. I don't know. But having said that, yes, she knew the rules. She knew she had to be below 50 kgs. The issue again here is if the thing had been settled like in earlier Olympics, if they'd just taken that event morning weighing and then left it at that, it would have been okay. But from this Olympics, actually, this rule was brought about a year ago that they would take a weight test the following day. One, of course, is before the event, and the second weight has to be the following day, the following morning, that is. And I think she was given about 15 minutes time between 7:15 and 7:30 Paris time to take that test, and that is where she came a cropper, 90 grams. And from what we hear, yes, she went through saunas, she didn't eat, she didn't even have water. She tried everything possible, and the team has a dietitian, it has a doctor, it has a whole lot of people who help you in these kind of matters. But then I guess last night when they checked, I think she was 52 kgs, if I'm right. And so they really had to shed more than 2 kgs overnight. And that became the challenge. And like you mentioned earlier, yes, she went swimming, she went cycling, she did a whole lot of exercises to sweat it out, but everything came asunder because you in the final 90 grams, I was about to say kilograms, 90 grams is what caught us short. It's a very, very sad day. Yeah, it's like a question of so near and yet so far. But I think hats off to her. We don't want to get too much into this because it could lead to a lot of other heartburn. But really, I haven't seen this kind of a defeat at all. When I say defeat by the rules at all in any sport. And this is really disheartening.
Sir, could you please take us through the rules of the Olympics here, particularly in this matter? How does the weigh-ins happen, and why is it so rigid that even 90 grams, and there seems to be no second chance for a weigh-in as well? So, could you please take us through the rules?
Yeah, what happens basically, there are some events like boxing and wrestling and all these are which are fought according to your weight category. It would be unfair to have a 100 kg boxer fight against a 40 kg boxer. So to level the playing field, the in wrestling, boxing, and some of these other sports, weight plays a very critical part. So she took part in the lightest women's wrestling competition, that is the 50 kgs and below. So she had to be 50 kgs or below that to fight in that category. Yes, she was 50 and below in all these battles that she fought, the first three rounds, that is, and including the semi-final round. But unfortunately, the next rule that came in, that is, this is only a year old, this rule, that the following day, following morning also, you have to go through a test. And I think that is what brought her a cropper. And it's sad that she had to be caught out like this at this time. I say sad because this rule didn't exist more than a year ago. You know, it's a new rule, and to be brought short by the rule. But we have seen many times these rules are brought so that some of the old things that you could do, maybe using diuretics and a whole lot of other stuff, she couldn't take. She couldn't really drink a lot of water. She couldn't sweat it out also as much as she would have liked to. I think there was everything was drained out of her totally, and I think that is the problem. And 90 grams, my God, 90 grams. That's all which stood between her and an Olympic medal. It's shattering more than anything else. It's shattering, but that's the rule.
Vedam, this is the human body that we're talking about. The weight increases one day, it decreases the other day, and athletes already work so hard on their body, and it's kind of absurd to hear that just for 90 grams, this such a drastic step could be taken. And I heard you say that this such an incident has never occurred before. So, what can the IOA do now? And is there any hope left?
I don't think there's any hope left for her as far as this Olympics is concerned because it's an open and shut case. She will not get her silver medal. And if I understand the rules properly, the silver medal will not be awarded to anybody. In this particular category, there'll be a gold medal and there'll be a bronze medal, but no silver medal. So I don't think anything can be done because That's the rule. She had to be below 50 kgs. They try a lot. They try hard. It's not just her. A whole lot of them would have tried hard to stay below 50 kgs to be eligible for this. And in some cases, they actually try and boost up their weight. But in her case, she's actually tried to lose weight to be in this category. And if I remember right, she was about 57 kgs last year, and she lost more than 7 kgs so that she could battle this out and in this 53 category, 50 kg category. And this ups and downs, like you said, the human body. Yes, there are lots of ups and downs. Sometimes you gain weight, sometimes you lose weight. And in her case, she's gained weight at the wrong time. She was below 50 kgs before the bout yesterday, and if she had stayed at that weight, maybe she'd have been fighting for a gold medal, like you said. But that was not to be. But yes, it is very, very disheartening, and it's really shattering because at the end of it, what has she lost out? She's lost out on 90 grams, an Olympic medal. You know, an Olympic medal on 90 grams. I mean, it seems so cruel, but that's the rule.
Vedam, but again, this question arises that when she had already qualified for the with she got through the weigh-ins, she was under 50 kgs and she was fighting it through the day. She had three fights where she weighed under 50 kgs. So how do you think this 2 kgs or speculatively the 2 kgs, where did it come from all of a sudden just one day before her finals bout? How could that have happened when there is this team of dietitians and physicians and managers around her?
See, it's too early really to pinpoint and lay the blame on somebody's door, because what happens is, yes, her weight would have been taken even before she entered the competition, and later at every round, they would have checked weight before and after. And that's what would have happened, and she would have got through those first two battles that she had, and this semi final bout also. They would have taken the weight earlier, she would have been well within the thing. And then it's the aftermath of that. Bout that really she's added. We don't know where she's put on weight, but what we hear is she checked the previous night itself, and the previous night showed her to be about 2 kgs overweight. And that's when they spent the whole night trying to get rid of those 2 kgs. And apparently it didn't work. So, I mean, you can't pinpoint and say what is the reason, at least at this point of time. Maybe a little later when we get more news of what happened, then we'll get to know. But at this point of time, like you said, we don't know where it comes from. But basically the human body is like that. You put on weight sometime, you lose some weight sometime. And the Olympic Committee or whoever is responsible for these have, they have decoded that morning time, early morning, that 7:15 to 7:30 is probably the best time to ensure that a person's weight stays what it is supposed to stay. And that's where she got caught out. Maybe they had asked for time, maybe at 10 o'clock, maybe she should have been able to lose that 90 grams, but that was not to be. They stuck to that time between 7:15 and 7:30, and that's where she was found out.
But when we look at Vinesh Phogat and her journey as a wrestler, she has been through a lot. There has been a lot of struggle for her to get through, even to get to this stage where she is at right now, where she is looked at as a hero for all the wins that she collected yesterday itself. It's a very fresh and heartwarming thing, even though we have a bittersweet ending here, bitter ending actually. So, how would you describe her journey as what? How would you recount it?
See, any sports person, irrespective of what event they take part, any sports person who is qualified for the Olympics must be an extraordinary sports person. It's not just her. Any sports person who's qualified for the Olympics must be an extraordinary sports person, and they have to go through so many sacrifices. It's not just them, their family, their friends, their coaches, their ecosystem. There's so many sacrifices to be made, so much of hard work put in by everybody. And I think they've all realized that, you put in that hard work, you've come there, but yet at the end of the day, you're not able to get onto the podium for reasons that are very difficult to fathom. Maybe if they took her weight test tomorrow, she would probably show her to be below 50 kgs. But at this point, at that time, 7:15 to 7:30 Paris time this morning, she was found to be overweight, and that's a little tough. very tough. In fact, when she was fine even before the bout and before and after the earlier bouts. But at this particular time, 90 grams, I still can't believe it. 90 grams, unbelievable.
Her performance in the Olympics, how would you describe her performance in the Olympics so far? She gave a stellar performance against the 2020 Tokyo champion, and even in the semi-finals, she kept her lead. She managed to, win, and she managed quite well to win. In fact, how has her performance been this Olympics?
I mean, she looked so focused. I saw her bouts and she looked so focused. And she had a strategy, she had a plan, she played to that. And she really, I mean, to beat the previous champion, it was incredible. It would have been all right if she had just maybe got the bronze medal or little less than that. It would have been fine. But the way she took them on and defeated them, and the semi-final bout 5-0, unbelievable. And at the end of it, he was brought up short by 90 grams, unheard of and really unbelievable. And I don't know if there will be a rule change after this, but certainly this is shattering, absolutely shattering. And all the hard work she's put in, everything she's done so far, is nullified by just those 90 grams. That has nullified everything. And that's the sad part of it, because she could have come home a real heroine. She is a heroine in any case, but a heroine with a medal is a different heroine altogether. And that's what would have made a huge, huge,
Absolutely, and
huge
every time you
difference.
point that 90 grams out, this one question pops up in my mind because we see in this in different combat sports, we can see the veins happening there as well. But at points like these, when the fighter is overweight or something like that, there is the second chance to try and get to that weight, give a little bit of time. Or even we've seen instances where fighters have shaved their hair off to shed that 100 grams or 150 grams and all of that. So, is there no such options in the Olympics Association? Could nothing like that have been done by the team?
Look, to the best of my knowledge, they would have done everything possible throughout the night. You know, there are doctors there are dietitians there are whole lot of things, think tanks there. They have done everything possible right through the night to get into that. If they thought that shaving off the hair would have helped, maybe they could have even done that. But I don't think anything really mattered, because ultimately, yes, she lost. She lost close to 2 kg. She lost through the night. But you also need to take into account that she's just gone through a bout, and a tough bout. So what do you do as soon as the bout is over? You need to replenish all the liquids that you have lost. If even that would not have been possible. And from reports, what we are hearing is she didn't even eat. Maybe some morsels of food she took, but she didn't even eat. So she ensured the stomach was empty. She ensured that she sweated it out. What we hear again is that she sat through the sauna a couple of times, and she did a lot of cycling. I mean, she's tried everything to get below that. But there is a point, beyond which you can't go. And I think that's what has brought her short. It's just that her bad luck. Maybe, like I said, tomorrow maybe her weight would be back to 50 kgs, but now it's that 90 grams overweight. And it sounds such a trifle small amount, but that is the 90 grams which has really let her down. And that's very sad.
And Vedam, her age was not on her side, weight was not on her side, her experience in this particular division was not on her side, but she, fought through it all and she made her way all the way to the finals. And what would your message be to Vinesh Phogat?
I don't think any message is really going to help her, because I mean, look at her plight. She's 4 years, she's put on heart and soul to get into this. And she's also realized that her chances of a medal are far superior in this particular weight category. And she's gone for it, mind and soul into it for the last 4 years. She's put all the effort, she's done everything required of her. And yet, there, like I said, that 50 grams or 50 kgs, that's the threshold. And the entire team, when I say the team, I meant the entire ecosystem, would have helped her to get below that. They would have realized that she's a genuine medal prospect, and they would have tried everything to ensure that she goes below that 50 kgs. But that was not to be. And it was not to be only for this. If it had happened in the very first round, okay, fine. Maybe we made a mistake. We could have said that. But she passed through the first round. She passed through the second round. And then in the semifinals, this had to happen. That, I mean, for the final, just before the final. Even after the semifinals, she passed the initial stages of the semifinal. It's only the morning after caused this problem. So I really don't know. It is so disheartening. And unless we get to know more about it, there's nothing we can do. And as far as messages are concerned, I don't know. I don't think anything will console her. She must be shattered. And why not?
Her eyes on the gold. You could tell that she had her eyes on the gold from the very beginning, from the way that she's fought. Even yesterday, after the semifinals, she got on a video call with her mom and said that I will bring back home gold. A few months ago, in an interview, she said that I want to look in the eyes of Brij Bhushan and get a medal back home. And this happens now. How will this impact? I want to say the wrestling, field in a wrestling federation, in fact, in India.
Look, it's going to be tough for everybody. It's not just the wrestlers. Every Indian who follows sports, it's going to be tough for them. You know, you've come so near and yet it's so far. It's not a question of scoring points over one another. I mean, that's a petty game. Forget that. That's not the important thing. The important thing is winning a medal. And winning a medal for the country does a lot. There's been so much of hard work put in by so many people to get her where she is. And her family, her coach, her friends, whole lot of people to where she is. And had she got this gold or silver or whatever medal she would have got, it would have been an inspiration for so many others who look up to her. So I mean, I wouldn't go around scoring petty points because that's not important at all. The important thing is, India has lost a medal. I would say lost because it was in our grasp. We had it. We have lost a medal just because of 90 grams.
Vedam, would you say that this is the biggest sporting tragedy for India, or at least the top five, or something like that? It hurts, definitely hurts just as much as it hurt when India lost the finals last year for the World Cup, which was organized in India. So, what would you say? Is this the biggest sporting tragedy for the country?
No, no, no. Look, we are too close to the event. We can't give it labels like biggest and least and things like that. Because if you go around looking at the, maybe 10, 15, 20-year history of Indian sports, there'll be many places where we would have tripped up. So to call this the biggest is, I think, very, very unfair. And it may be the biggest, but, we are too close to the event. We get too emotional. And maybe this is not the time to look at it in terms of things. Yes, it's very difficult, very hard to realize that, morning we thought, what morning? Last night we thought we had a medal, and this morning we realized we don't have that medal. It's not ours. So yeah, that's the tough part.
And what would you say? How would you say the whole organizing of the Paris Olympics 2024 has been? Because there have been a lot of complaints right from the way many sports athletes were not even choosing to sleep in their rooms because it was too hot. There was no air conditioners. Yeah, the sports ministry had to send air conditioners to the village, Olympic village. There has been several rules changes or new rules being added in this Olympics. So, how would you say, how has the organizing been during this Olympics?
See, the as far as the rules are concerned, yes, it's not within the scope of the host. Host just hosts it. They don't really fiddle around with the rules. It's not done by them. It's done by the various federations and the Olympic body as such. But as far as the other things are concerned, like you said, somebody was sleeping in the park. Many of them moved out of the village to the stay in hotels, and the Indian delegation got about 40, 50 air coolers, portable air coolers, because it was too hot to stay in the village. It was not just the temperature, but even when you look at the food, many were complaining that there was not enough food to go by, and food was being rationed. Some of them said they would come back from a hard fought battle and find there's not enough food to go around. Food was being rationed. I think these are, I mean, absolutely crazy things. These things can't happen in the Olympics. If nothing else, the athletes need to be well rested, well fed, and in the right frame of mind to go and participate. And I think this Olympics, the Paris Olympics, I think it's really lost out on a lot of things. I have no idea why they've done it. It's not the first time France is hosting an Olympics. They have a lot of experience. They conduct a lot of major events, but this time I think they have hit a nearly really new low. And I don't think this kind of substandard work would have been tolerated if it was in any other country. But I think France has got away with a real murder, whether it was their opening ceremony or those various events, the complaints. I mean, the complaints flowing in virtually every day. And I think one of their ministers had to dive into the water to show that water was all right. Why did he have to do that? If the water was clean and all right. Yeah, so it's very sad. Lot of charges against Paris and France in this particular event, and like I said, that's not the Olympic spirit at all.
And how would a victory in the Olympics have influenced, the whole narrative again about her protest against the Wrestling Federation of India? That would have been I want to say a tight slap to all those who were against, who did not speak up maybe and did not support her or voice concerns when her and, fellow wrestlers took out the whole protest against Brij Bhushan. How do you see, do you think the victory would have had the last, the one thing that she needed to make a statement? Do you think this was it?
This is exactly what I said. If you're going to score points on this, it doesn't help the Indian cause. We don't need this. We don't need to, they're blaming her or she blaming anybody. We don't need this. Let's look at it as India has lost a medal. And, what she has achieved is amazing. And had she got her hands onto that medal, whether it was gold or silver, it would have been fantastic, and that's what we were looking forward to. But I don't want to get into the politics of it. I know that I've been in sports for quite some time, and I know sports can be very very messy, and sometimes sports is more political than political politics. It's really that's the case, and so I don't want to get into the politics of it. And we're too close to this event really to score brownie points one way or the other.
Vedam, again, this Olympics has been quite the roller coaster ride for India and the Indian contingent. So there has been quite a few heartbreaking losses. Name Lakshya Sen, be it the Indian men's hockey team, all of these, and quite a few shocking losses as well who've exited the tournament pretty early. So what would you say? What does India have to look forward for in this Olympics moving forward?
I think in some ways, if you look at it, earlier we used to look forward to only one medal, that's in the hockey, and now we're looking forward to many more medals, and that's good. That's the way the things have improved. A lot of corporates have come in. A lot of government promotion is going on. See, look, we don't have enough facilities for sports in India. Let's be very clear about that. But we have a lot more facilities now than they were, let's say, 20 years ago or 25 years ago. So I think in many ways, and a lot of corporates have entered the scene. They are doing their own academies. They're doing their own sports promotion. There's a lot of foreign travel going on, and a lot of CSR activities going on. So I think it helps. And you need more of the same. You need more of the same before you can really be a powerhouse in sports. Maybe that will take 10 years, maybe it will take 20 years, but we really need to put a lot of effort. We've seen what money and organization can do to cricket, and hopefully that's the same kind of money, help, organization, encouragement, and infrastructure, which will bring other sports also into some sort of a good level. I'm not saying dominance. We are far off from dominance, but at least where we can compete on an equal footing. And I mean, we have some way to go.
Thank you so much for all those insights, and thank you so much for giving us your time, Vedam.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, so Vinesh Phogat has been disqualified from the Olympics, Paris Olympics 2024, for weighing around about 100 grams above the specified weight category. She was competing in the 50 kilograms weight category. and that has certainly been the heartbreak of the nation throughout the day. She was showing excellent form during the competition. She also managed to beat the unbeatable, the champion of the previous Olympics, Yui Susaki, and she managed to also beat two others and reach the finals and become the first first wrestler to reach the finals in any Olympics from India. So it has certainly been the heartbreak. What would you like to say?
Right, it was quite a journey. You know, a few hours ago, she scripted history by becoming the first Indian woman to qualify, and then fate had different plans for her. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it looks like Dangal 2 is on the way, and this is going to be such a heartbreak to watch. I mean, she is definitely a winner. She's already a champion. She did not have to get us the medal, but if she had won that medal, I think happiness would know no bounds. And just as millions of hearts broke after this news, I think the joy would also be uncomparable. There would be fireworks everywhere with this one victory, and we would have had the last final, Olympic celebration just by this one medal that Vinesh Phogat was destined to win, I feel like.
Yes, although Venetia's semi-final bout ended the previous night, her fight didn't end there because she was fighting through the night to manage her weight, get back into the weight category and fight in the finals. But fate had other things, like you said, and she couldn't do that and she got disqualified, yet her fight still goes on. I am hoping that she comes back in her top form and manages to bring a lot more glory to India as the focus shifts on all the other competitors who are representing India in the Paris Olympics. Primarily in the finals is Neeraj, who won the gold medal in the previous Olympics, in Tokyo Olympics, and his finish or his form was excellent in the qualifying rounds. He managed to come out on top in the qualifying rounds. So we are hoping that he comes with the same form and brings that gold for India once again. With that, I am Sanjay Ponappa.
I'm Deepthi Rao.
And you are watching India Today So South.